you might get a bit of a shock. So I don't know what I'm going to say. Let's see. Well, it's just tense. Hello, everybody. How are you? You okay? Come with me. I have never seen anything like this in my life. Wow. Hello, everybody. It's tense everywhere. This is going to sound awful to people who are just watching. I don't mean any disrespect to anyone who's here, but the smell is absolutely overpowering. You've got people on top of each other. Yeah, okay. Lots of people here. There's somebody just praying over here, so clearly quite a strong Islamic representation. And okay, it's incredible to think that there's so many tents here. I mean, I can't even begin to suggest how many there are. Like maybe 100. Hello, how are you? What? Come and talk to me. Where are you from?
Very small, from Sudan.
You're from Sudan?
Yeah.
I speak to a lot of people from Sudan here. So, do you want to come to Britain, England? You want to go to England?
Yeah.
Okay, why?
England is dream.
Why?
So Sudan is war. England is
I understand.
War.
I understand that Sudan is war, but why is England the dream? Because France is not war.
Sudan, France?
No war here.
France?
In France. France is okay. No?
France?
Well, there's no war here. Why is England good? Why do you want to come to England? Because France is okay. It's safe.
No people.
No?
No people. No
Okay.
problem.
No problem in England. We have lots of problems in England, my friend. We have lots of problems in England. So, you want to come to England?
Yeah,
Why?
because here I don't have home.
Do you think that they give you money in England?
Yes,
Right.
yes, but I think they are give me England. They are give me money. You can help me anything. I can need.
Okay.
Maybe you help me.
So, can I ask, why should the people of Great Britain give you a house and money?
Because I don't know.
Because we have a lot of people in Great Britain who need money and need a house.
Yeah.
Why should English people pay for you to have a house?
Maybe they give me house. They give me anything I can need. They give me.
Just give it.
Yeah.
The reason I bothered to tape that, it's going out live about 20 minutes ago. Patrick Christys from GB News at a migrant centre in Calais. So if you can imagine, the scene is like lots of warehouses, looks like an industrial estate. And inside these empty warehouses are little one-man tents, one after another, hence the smell. It's too much humanity, too close proximity, no washing facilities, God knows what the hygiene standards are like. Rubbish is piled up everywhere. Obviously, it's not supposed to be a permanent residence. But my gripe is always with the politicians who cause this. The politicians who put them up in hotels, who give lucrative contracts to landlords to encourage them. You know, we've created a billionaire out of asylum seekers. They're not all genuine. These are healthy young men hanging around, you know, being given bottled water. They've obviously got food from somewhere, you know, it's being given to them. They're waiting, they're in between the two Calais ports, the trucking one. They're basically trying to get on board trucks, the old-fashioned way as it were, not the dinghies. And this camp's got hundreds of them. He said about 100 in one of these facilities. There were 3 or 4 others. And they're just hanging around to come across, not in a dinghy, bearing in mind. I've got quite a lot of experience crossing the Channel. I had a home in the south of France for about 12 years and subsequently one in the Alps. So I did the journey down to Dover, across on the ferry many times, and then subsequently with the Channel Tunnel, on the Channel Tunnel. with my dogs in the car. I've had a few run-ins when there's been difficulties at the tunnel. I even headed a Facebook group called Calais Trucker Support to help the truckers who were getting the trucks damaged from these migrants who were trying to stow away or just causing damage anyway. I dealt with some people in the Home Office and the Foreign Office because we'd donated £50 million to France to switch the lighting on the seaboard motorway that crosses from Belgium to France. I think it's called the A16. And we paid to install the lighting. Britain paid for that. And guess what? Because the lighting was in different municipalities, they didn't switch them on. They put the lights up, but they didn't switch them on. So I campaigned to get the lights on, which we won. We won that campaign. And I started a group for people putting evidence of what was happening. Debris being thrown across the motorway at night, branches on fire, tyres on fire, thrown across the motorway at night to get truckers to stop on their night trunk. Actually, it did affect the Formula One teams. Now, the Formula One teams have drivers that they second when they tour in Europe, and those trucks have to be pristine, washed, immaculate, no damage. So anytime one of those trucks got damaged, be it a broken wing mirror or damage to the actual tractor unit, they have to come off the road and be made good again. And inside is hundreds of thousands of pounds, millions of pounds worth of equipment. It did affect them too. And the thing is, our truckers have had such a damn awful time of it during the migrant crisis. They've never been taken seriously. Nothing's been put in place for their safeguard. People did get injured and one man got killed. And it was because of this. Personal experience, one migrant jumped off the back of a truck. We ended up in some traffic going into the Channel Tunnel, and we had to use the hard shoulder to literally escape. He jumped off the back of this truck with a crowbar in his hand, and he came towards my car and he went like that, "Hey Blondie," like that. The only thing that saved us from him getting closer, we'd got blacked out windows. I let the windows down a little bit and let my dogs kick off. And as soon as the dogs started barking, little did he know they were only Westies, he backed away, and then we shot up the hard shoulder. On another occasion, I think it was actually Christmas Day, it could have been, they'd set the motorway on fire. This, as you come off, you've got nowhere else to go. You've got to go up this slip road, and then it feeds out into several motorways. There must have been 200 riot vans, that's with policemen in, all lined up. We're sat there like sitting ducks. Missiles were flying across. The tyres were on fire, tyres and branches, and thousands of migrants, God knows where they came from, obviously some sort of protest. And literally to get out of it, I said, go up the slip road. There's a slip road for entering the motorway. So we went up it the wrong way just to get off the motorway system, and then tried to drive around the back roads. We did that for about 50 kilometres to make sure we were out of the reach of the migrants. One or two of the airs on the motorway there on the A26 and the A16, every sort of 8 kilometres they have a rest area, which is toilets, hand wash facilities and picnic benches. Beautifully done. The two nearest to the tunnel and to the port, they're closed. They've been closed for 10 years longer because you can't use them because migrants hang around. So the last available services is one with a petrol station and a bit more going on. But this has been a massive problem for years, since they closed Sangat, and then the jungle was created, and then they shut the jungle down. These people haven't gone away. They're still sporadically using other areas in northern France. They want to come to England. They want to come to England because they look on this with their friends who are already here, and they're panning round palatial hotels and residences. They're showing bedrooms with bathrooms en suite, even though some of these people don't actually know how to use the bathroom, believe it or not, because staff from the hotels that got evicted, they bring in their own staff. Serco bring in their own staff. They're usually foreign. And now we've got this new deal with India where you can use migrants, basically migrant workers, cheaper. Serco have offices in India. I'll let that one just run through your brain. So we are being stitched up all the time by our government, who says this message but is giving that message. They are not genuine. They don't mean what they say. They've no intention. They haven't even got the tenacity and the initiative to think of a way to stop the migrants. The best way you can stop the migrants is to tariff France. Just threaten to tariff France. They'll start stopping the boats, that's for sure. And insist on identification. You can't just come trolling in saying you're called something without any proof of who you are. We want some proof, because that's the easiest way for a criminal to get through any system, is no identification. We could make so many measures work for us. We can process offshore. Howard Cox said to me, was it Howard Cox? I think it was Howard Cox. No, it wasn't. It was Norman Brennan, the policeman. He suggested commandeering a cruise ship, an older cruise ship. Cruise ships hold a couple of thousand people. Process offshore. Do it quickly. What's taking so long? Why is there a backlog? Why aren't more staff being employed? Make sure that they sign an agreement to put British values first. Have a contract drawn up so that people in Border Force, people leave their jobs in Border Force because of how Border Force is run. And when you think the man that's running it has actually owned up to living in Finland, what sort of country does that? It's absolutely bonkers what the British people are expected to put up with. And now they're showing off about emptying the hotels because they're going to put them in neighbourhoods. That's like you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. That's not helping. That's creating another problem. Good that they're out the hotels and not getting looked after, but these people don't look after anything where they go. Go and have a look. I know someone who sent me photographs of a dwelling that has 6 migrants in it. And they kick off every so often because they're from different countries. They don't even speak the same language. They're lounging about. Some of them are on ganja. How do they afford that? How can you afford to buy ganja? Oh, that's because you get 38 quid a week spending money, minimum, and all your bills paid. You've not got a care in the world. And some of these places these people have come from are so dire from a living point of view that they don't need to do anything other than just hang around. They're young. They're virile young men. They're bored. It's an absolute recipe for disaster. And then suddenly they're thrust into a community and into a country where we've got liberated females wearing short skirts, young girls at school that are ages that they would be married in these other countries. And you're wondering why we've got a problem. And instead of addressing the problem, as usual, the government addresses the reaction to the problem, which is us complaining about it. We're far right. Well, seemingly, so is Keir Starmer now, after what he said the other day. But I'm just giving you some background here into what's going on. We all know what the end result is, which is suddenly you wake up and there's like 6 men living in a house on your street. So property values diminish because they don't look at... Go and have a look at the rubbish outside some of these places. Go and have a look at them. Nobody, they do the house up and put them in, and that's the end of it. Nobody goes around to say, right, you've got to flatten your milk cartons, flatten your juice cartons, put them in the bin, put them in your segregated rubbish. Keep it clean, keep it tidy. Have some sodding standards. No, you're not coming from Sudan or Somalia and bringing your standards to here. You want to come here, you live by our standards, and it's easy enough to learn. It's easy enough to learn to flush a toilet after you've been and used it, instead of waiting for 3 more men to use it. Can you imagine what that's like? Not even bothering to flush a toilet. Somebody give them some lessons in how to integrate into a society that's leaps and bounds ahead of theirs. It's ridiculous. They're just left almost feral to look after themselves. And they're not going to do it because nobody showed them how. I don't blame them for trying to come. What would you do? What would you do if you thought there was an easier route to a better life? Bearing in mind how you're probably living at home, you'd give it a go, wouldn't you? You're bound to. And what my big argument is, the government and the lack of legislation and the lack of creativity in thinking is allowing this to happen. So we can only come to one conclusion. They want it. They want it. For somehow they actually see that these people are going to benefit Britain long term. How? How can they are not skilled workers. They are not coming across with any skills. Most of them end up in jobs like Deliveroo. I mean, someone said the other day on Facebook, well, if they can't find them, all they have to do is ring for a takeaway. There'll be one turning up soon enough. It's not a thing to joke about, but all I'm saying is, you know, Patrick Christys covers it on GB News. That's good. The mainstream media don't cover it. And unless the mainstream media get a grip of this and show it to other people, we're having to find out the long way, the word of mouth way. Oh, it's just happened to me. They've moved in our street. Because you've got politicians who are inadequate, and what they're focusing on is a world, global governance that doesn't give a monkeys about how you're living and how your life will be affected. God forbid what your descendants will live like. So you need to know about this, and you need to tell other people, because your government isn't working for you. Your government is working to be part of a bigger thing that isn't working. It's already not working. There's enough historians telling you tales on their channels, like David Starkey, about how Europe is being demolished from a demographic point of view. And I don't want to see that. Sorry, selfishly, I want to see people like me survive. I want to see people with different cultures, different skin colours, different hair colours. I want to see people who speak different languages. I want national pride for every single country. I want to be able to fly the flag and know it means something. You know, when I used to drive through Calais with my little Union Jack on my number plate, I was proud of it. I'm proud of the fact that we're the country, no matter what anybody says to you, we are the country they flock to. We are not racist. We cannot be racist or they wouldn't come. Would you go to Somalia? Would you go to somewhere hardcore like Saudi Arabia? Do people run off to China for a better life? No, they don't. Anybody gone to North Korea recently for a better life? No, I'll wait for that one. So don't be talked to by left-wing activist journalists trying to make out that Britain is racist. Lawrence Fox lost his job because he stood by that. And that's why I kind of have an affinity with Lawrence, because he could have kept his mouth shut and kept his money coming in, couldn't he? So you've got to stand up and be counted at some stage. And all I'm saying is, this is the biggest problem in the country, and we have got the worst people for sorting it out. The public know what's going on. The public know what needs to be done. And that's why the two main parties are dead in the water. The Tories are dead because you caused this. You have caused this. You put them in hotels. You give Circle the contracts first, and you came up with sanctuary cities. You did this. The Tories did it. Starmer's just reaping the benefit. Please don't forget to subscribe. See how I did that? I just slicked it in there. I normally forget. It's free. Just click whatever it is you click on. I think it says subscribe, doesn't it? Do that thing, and then you can see more of me banging on, basically saying what you think. I hope so anyway.